Hey, what's up guys, my name is Sam, I'm a photographer and filmmaker, and today we are going to be doing a long-term honest review of this guy. This bag is the Peak Design Everyday Sling 5 liter. So I've actually had this bag ever since it was available when it came out. I think it was about in 2016. And if you look at it now, this one, it looks brand new, and it's not because I didn't use it, because I have been using it almost every single day for shoots and things like that. But I recently got this one replaced. So if you are worried about like Peak Design's lifetime warranty or the whole replacement program, rest assured that the replacement does work out. I have been using this bag for an extremely long time. I brought it everywhere I've been to, for holidays, for work, for trips. Literally, I can say that I know what's good about this bag and what's not good about it. Now, I just want to point out one thing is that I am, in fact, yes, a huge Peak Design fanboy, and at the same time, this is why I'm very critical about their products, because I think that the only way for a company to really improve is through honest feedback and reviews of their products. For this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that I like, the things that I don't like, and the things that can be improved or have already been improved. First of all, I want to talk about the things that I like about it. This might not necessarily be things that are good about it, but these are things that I enjoy about the bag and using it almost every single day. So the first things first about this bag is I really like the durability of this bag. I ran through the rain in it, I have thrown it around, it has gotten scratches, it has literally been banged up, at least the older one, not the replaced one. I've literally brought it everywhere and it has stood the test of time and wear and tear. The handle here, the zips, even the strap, it's incredibly well made. Even inside, if you look inside, like everything inside here is just no, focus there. Yes, everything inside here is just well thought out, well crafted, well designed, and that's the one thing that I really like about this bag, and it's definitely waterproof for sure. The other thing I do like about this bag is that they have this like lock guards. So basically, if you take this out and you kind of like thread it through here, you can actually stop it from just opening straight away, which I really think that that's a pretty small, simple, innovative feature that helps a lot in shooting. Another thing that I do like about this bag is the ability to turn it into a fanny pack. So now this becomes like a waist bag, and now not a lot of people use it, but I actually use it for a lot of shoots, and I'll show you how I do it. So once you like unbuckle it and you put it around your waist, so essentially what happens is all my lenses will be at my back, and I usually have a camera holster, a hold fast gear strap, and I can easily just swap between lenses really quickly. And occasionally at times I've actually attached the 70 to 200 pouch on the belt, so it hangs off at the side and I can easily change. That to me has changed the way I shoot, because usually I would carry the strap and the bag like this, and what will happen is one shoulder will eventually hurt the most because there's more weight on it. And so like I didn't enjoy the fanny pack feature at first, but now that I've started to use it, I really enjoy it, and it's helped my shoulders and back, especially in long shoots. I just think that this bag is very functional. You can fit a lot, just don't overstuff it, but there are a lot of things that you can do very well with this bag, and I think it's just a very well thought out design, just not perfect. So I want to go into the negatives of this bag, because in a long-term review, you kind of like realize things that people don't necessarily talk about when they've been using the bag for like a week or 2 weeks or maybe like a month. I've been using it for 2 years, I think, and I've started to notice things that that really can be improved. The first one I talk about, the one thing that has already improved in the new versions, is initially these straps here. When you're carrying them, after a while they tend to loosen up. So there's this long strap, there's this excess strap here. So if you notice, mine, my clip here is pretty short, because I like mine closer to the top of my back. when I'm carrying it like this. Over time, this tends to this strap here tends to loosen up, which I really didn't like about the first design. But in the new batches that they sent out, they actually have this clip right here. They actually have this clip right here. So what happens is that even though you pull it, it doesn't come out. So that's something that Peak Design has already addressed in the newer version. So I think like if you were to buy this bag right now, you would have this clip already. If not, I'm not so sure if you can buy it, but it's really not that huge a deal breaker. It is a bit annoying, but then again, like that's just part of the design. So usually for everyday carry, I have a 5D Mark IV and a 50mm 2.8 or an EOS R with this lens as well. And so basically that just fits inside my wallet, my keys, my phone, my power bank, my battery, my cables, and things like that, and keys and all this kind of stuff. So I don't really stuff it too much. So one thing I want to talk about is what happened to my first bag. So what happened is, if any of you have used it for a while, you would realize that when it's a bit stuffed too much, this part here where the zip comes, this part here, the edge right here, it is a bit sharper. So what happens is, if you stuff it a bit too much, or it's a bit out, there's a bit too much things inside here, it can get snagged on at the edge. And so what happened was, as I was pulling, the thing just and literally this zip got detached from the entire zipper, so I had to have it replaced. And that's one of the flaws of this bag. And if you don't put the dividers as deep as possible and you fill up too much, you can actually snag on the edges, and it's very, very hard to close. It's also my fault, yes, for overstuffing it, but at the same time, you know, it wasn't to say that I can't close it. It was just a bit more than this, and it's still overstuffed itself. So that was also part on my fault. But I also think it's the edge corners of this that really caused it, because it's not a smooth travel. There's actually an edge that you have to go over, and that's something you want to keep in mind. So be careful when you are zipping in and out. Next one, when we're talking about design, is this front pouch is actually smart, but in practical use, not so much. The reason why is because it's very tight, and it's when you have your bag full, even with the camera and stuff, right, it's actually very hard to put anything. You actually have to force and jam it in. So I actually use an S9 Plus with like a Moment case, and this is already too thick when I put my 5D inside. So this literally is just a bag for me to put tissues, and I can easily go in and out, and I never use it at all. Third major flaw that I found is that this strap, this padding here, is pretty much useless. It does not provide any form of comfort long term, especially if your bag has a camera and things like that. This can actually hurt, so it will actually dig into your shoulders, which they did not solve at all, and this is a common problem in majority of their bags. So one thing is, you never want to try and overstuff your bags with too much stuff, because it can hurt your shoulders. Even if it's pretty light and there's not a lot of stuff inside, over time you can actually feel, if you're carrying for like, let's say 2 to 3 hours, you can actually feel it a bit on your shoulder, which tends to make it a bit stiff, which I hope in the next design iteration they will make more padding on this, which would help, I think, in just the overall comfort of the bag. I do like how you can open it like this, but the problem is I kind of wish that it can open flat. So when you're using stuff, when you're trying to take out stuff, right, it tends to close, and so it's very hard to, it can be very annoying when you're moving fast. It's a small gripe, but it's designs like this that I wish can kind of like just hold out like that. That will make it easier for me to just access things when it's right in front of me. I do like these mesh pockets. If you see inside here, these pockets right here. But once again, when you have more stuff inside, this literally becomes useless, because you can't fit anything else inside. The organization on this top one, it's nice, but once again, if you put too much stuff inside, especially if you have a camera in the middle, it's hard to put batteries inside. It's just, I think these dividers are a bit too tall for the bag. They should be flush with this. It should be flushed here, not jutting out. That way when I close it, it's not pressing against the dividers, because that's what I think causes the overstuff. It's not so much the items that you put inside, but this rigid dividers, which I think the dividers are great. I love how you can like have these like shelves on it, but at the same time they're too rigid and too big for the bag, and it should be a bit smaller or make the bag a bit deeper. Last thing I want to point out is that this swivel here, if you can see this swivel here, right now you can't hear anything because this bag is brand new, but if on my older bag and even on my 10 liter, over time it tends to make a noise. So it's like a metal and that I don't really like that. And the reason why is because it makes a sound, and sometimes when you're shooting in certain environments, you know, you don't want that to you don't want to make any sound. And also in practical everyday use, when you hear it, it's kind of annoying. So over time the metal on this part will wear and tear, and that's just something that you have to keep in mind. All these negative features, they are things that I think can be fixed in the next generation, but even if they don't, it's not so much a deal breaker. I really have enjoyed using the bag. It has just helped me carry things that I don't like to have in my pockets. It's helped me during my shoots as a fanny pack for lenses, so I don't have to buy an extra pouch belt and things like that. I like the bag, it's just that there are things that I don't like about it, and I hope that it can be fixed in the next generation, or it can be brought up so that the future redesign of the bag will just be a much better one. In closing, I just want to think who this bag is for. I think this bag can literally be for everybody. It doesn't have to have camera gear. It can have your everyday kit like your wallet and things like that, and I think that's a really good bag for what it is. It will help you, as well as it can fit a camera. So I feel like this bag is meant for people who want a smaller profile bag. At the same time, you want it to be very, very well protected, and you enjoy peak design stuff. If you have multiple bags and you carry bigger cameras like a 1DX or things like that, I don't think this bag is for you. But if you feel like you just want to have your everyday essentials, this is a great bag. It's pricey, but it will last you a really, really long time, and I don't think you will regret it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have questions that I did not cover in this video, feel free to ask in the comments below, and I will see you in the next gear review or whatever video that comes out. I have no idea what this channel is about just yet.